the celestial drama that unfolded between Zeus, the king of the gods, and Hera, the queen of Olympus. Their love story is one that's filled with passion, jealousy, and divine interventions that could rival any modern soap opera. Now, here's the tea. I'm sure we all know by now about the OG F-boy Zeus. TLDR, let's just say he slid not only into everyone's DMs, but also slid into other things, if you know what I mean. So how did he and Hera hook up? Well, they were super close. And besides the point that they practically shared a womb, yes, they're siblings. As we said, Zeus liked to mess around. Before Hera became Zeus's queen, he had multiple affairs and relationships with other goddesses, nymphs, and mortal women. Hera, on the other hand, was initially hesitant to get into a relationship with him, probably having witnessed her brother's relationship timeline. Talk about keeping royalty in the family. Anyway, Zeus plotted to seduce Hera by transforming into a cuckoo bird. Hera, charmed by the seemingly defenseless creature, took it into her arms. At that moment, Zeus resumed his divine form and, taking advantage of the situation, revealed himself. Some versions suggest Hera, surprised and amused, eventually reciprocated Zeus's advances, marking the beginning of their tumultuously divine relationship. Cute, right? Well, not quite. Shortly after the two lovebirds married, Zeus and Hera's relationship became very rocky. Zeus couldn't resist straying from the marriage bed, and Hera, well, she had her ways of keeping him in check. I mean, no woman was safe. He hooked up with anyone that had a pulse. Talk about standards. Now, this made Hera super jealous and mad. She spent all her time on Mount Olympus, keeping an eye on Zeus and planning payback against his flings. Uh-oh. Her wrath manifests in various forms, ranging from the persecution of Zeus's mortal lovers and their children, to actively opposing him in divine conflicts, like that of Zeus's illegitimate son, Heracles, more famously known as Hercules. She orchestrated a series of challenges known as the 12 Labors, which were intended to be impossible tasks that Heracles had to overcome. This was a way of her asserting her divine authority and punish those associated with Zeus's infidelities. Yikes. There's a lot of cases of Hera's revenge, which we can't fit into this video. Like when she seduced and drugged him. Yeah, so we'll cover that in another video. As we can see, their relationship isn't lovey-dovey. When we look at relationships today, we have to ask ourselves, what lesson can we glean from this story? If you're looking for a sign to text your toxic ex, this ain't it, my friend. This ain't it. But let's dive deeper into the Greek myth here. What was this couple's mindset to take such extreme measures? Was it an attempt to maintain control over the situation? Or could it be a sign of a deeper psychological struggle? Was it Stockholm Syndrome? Basically, Stockholm Syndrome is a psychological phenomenon where hostages or victims develop a bond with their captors or abusers. So, did Hera, in some twisted way, believe that she needed Zeus to define her worth because he left her feeling trapped? Let's not forget, Zeus did take advantage of Hera, and many other goddesses, and he cheated on them too, when you could just... Anyway, these questions bring us closer to unraveling the layers of their relationship. So let's circle back. Why did Hera stay with her supposed captor Zeus, despite all the he put her through? Well, maybe it's because her marriage to Zeus was like her power statement and strongly tied her to her own identity as the queen of gods. For her, she is not the queen if she's not with Zeus. Hera's commitment could have been all about her divine status. And perhaps Hera viewed keeping things in check amongst those involved in the various infidelities as a twisted way to maintain her control in their union. It might be wrong, but it's also Greek myth. In the case of Zeus, this could be seen as his way to keep in his power as well. Perhaps he thought that despite Hera's toxicity towards him, she was still his wife, and they needed to maintain that public image as a married couple and as king and queen of Mount Olympus. This can be said about many marriages today. Some couples stay in unhappy marriages just because they've been together for so long and that's all that they know. There's also other socioeconomic factors such as money and children and shame. For better or for worse, till death do us part, right? Sucks for Zeus and Hera though, cause they're immortal. As we reflect on this godly relationship, it's essential to discuss breaking the cycle of toxic relationships. Like, are we the Hera or Zeus in our own relationships? Their story should serve as a reminder for you that happiness isn't found in another person. After all, we're the directors of our own movie, not just extras in a rom-com that's not so rom and not so calm. We can't always guarantee how our relationships will turn out, right? But we have to remind ourselves that we're all humans for the first time. And just because you thought you had it figured out doesn't mean you can't try again. Here's to the love we deserve.